Hey, if you're thinking about moving to the Twin Cities market, you might be wondering where the market's at right now. Today, we're going to do a deep dive of where the Twin Cities real estate market is. We're going to go over some news headlines, walk you through where I think the market's going to be headed. We're going to get all into that right now. So if you're new to the channel, my name is Steve, the Three Rivers Real Estate Team based out of the Twin Cities of Minnesota. I produce content for people just looking to move to the area, learn more about it so you can make the best informed decision for you and your situation if you're thinking of moving here. Like I said, today we're going to go over right where the real estate market is. Going to hop into my computer, go over some current stats where stuff lays right now, first week of July. It is July 6th, and we're going to kind of walk through, said where things are at in the market currently, where they're going, go through some news headlines, break it down, because there's a lot of scary news headlines out there. When you start breaking things down, it's not nearly as scary as things might start to look. So without further ado, let's just hop right into my computer.
All right, popping right into my computer here, one of the first things people want to take a look at is what is average sales price doing here in the Twin Cities Metro. So we're looking at all prices, all types of property, single family condos, new construction, you name it, in the Twin Cities region here. So you can see month over month, we've been trending up since February. So in February, we're at the bottom of $400,000 for your average sales price. June, we're up to just under $450,000. Year over year, that's pretty flat compared to where we were last June. Last June, we're at $448,000. Now we're at $447,000 and change. Pretty much flat year over year, which is pretty surprising overall. People thought we'd still continue to see some appreciation here. Very early in the year, people thought the market was crashing. So seeing it trend up is a good thing overall. Now, this has a lot to do with the number of homes that are coming for sale, or new listings hitting the market. So this is new homes that are hitting the market, and you can see June year over year, we're down at 19.3%. Pretty typical from what we've been seeing all year. The year over year number has been really down. There's only 2,300 in December. If we looked at years prior, we found about 2,500, and we were at 3,100 at the low ends here. We're peaking out in the eights, 8.5, 8,000 last June, to now be in kind of 6.5, 1,500 less homes for sale. Not great if you're looking to buy a home. Your options are fairly limited. So when you have this kind of low supply like we're seeing, that's what's going to keep pushing these sales prices back up despite some of the higher rates that we're seeing. Now, overall, what we're seeing here from a month supply of inventory, we've started to come off and kind of leveling off here, about 1.9 months supply of inventory. So overall, 2 months supply, not a lot. Typically a balanced market is closer to 6. Get over 6, you're in a buyer's market. Under 3, you're in a seller's market. We're still well into a seller's market here overall for the Twin Cities metro area, and that's days on market still trending down. Yes, they're up quite a bit from where we were last year, but 21 to 30, 1 more week on market, things are still moving really, really fast. So percentage wise, yeah, it's a big percentage increase. We're talking about 1 more week on market here, and I'm actually surprised to see that, because there's still a lot of A+ listings, even B+ listings that are moving really, really quick, 10 days or less. But we are seeing some of those kind of quirkier homes, maybe overpriced homes, sitting on the market a little bit longer, where historically they may have been moving quicker than normal there. So very interesting to see some of that stuff. Now, one of the things I really like doing these market updates is taking a look just at real estate news, and we can kind of take a look at what's happening, broad spectrum here. Just your real estate, do news, and kind of see what's happening. Commercial real estate continues to be a very interesting topic right now. Obviously with COVID, it's changed the way we're working. A lot of people aren't getting into the commercial area, so they're having a lot of conversations about how do we repurpose some of this commercial property. And obviously a lot of people are looking at it going, well, can we turn this into residential? Because, hey, Steve, you're just sitting here talking about how there's no new listings on the market right now. Can we take some of this commercial property and convert them into apartments or into condos? And people are starting to have those conversations. The hard part with that is repurposing these buildings. They're not necessarily meant to have residential in it, obviously. So if you think about your average, office building. If you ever worked in an office space before, right, you go into your floor and a lot of cubicles, a couple of offices. What aren't you seeing a lot of? Well, you're not seeing a lot of kitchens. You're not seeing a lot of plumbing, right? You have probably 1 or 2 bathrooms, one male, one female, per floor, and they're stacked right typically on top of each other. So now if I'm trying to take that and repurpose that floor to make it 5 or 6 condos, well, now I got to replumb the entire floor. Not only that, I have to replumb the entire building because the building's probably built in a way where there's a plumbing stack just running right through all of the bathrooms, and it's pretty easy to manage. Now I have to revent things, retube things, rerun supply lines, and I might not be able to take that new capacity of people showering every day in there, using the facilities every day, doing dishes every day, where you just have, in a normal office building, you might not get as much use, even though there's more people, but they're not showering, they're not doing laundry, they're not doing stuff like that in a lot of these apartment buildings, and in these places they want to convert into apartments. So there's a lot of interesting stuff happening there where obviously companies don't need them as much anymore as they're working from home, but how do we repurpose them? So a lot of interesting, that's really in the news a lot right now, but probably not going to affect residential real estate anytime soon. Even if you want to take those and reconvert them, obviously the government needs to get involved, need to rezone that area. It's probably zoned for commercial and has to be rezoned to residential. The whole building probably needs to be gutted and redone. So, we're a couple years out unless the government really gets involved on things there. So obviously a lot of homes for sale here. In the business as well. Well, price inventory is low. We know that. So rising housing costs, typically a lot of what we're seeing. FSBO's still pretty tough here. So pretty boring in the real estate world right now. A lot of it just has to do with kind of with what we've been talking about, where there's really just not a lot of inventory going on. It's pushing prices down, and then we're going to start seeing what happens to sales prices. One thing you want to start taking a look at is mortgage rates, and this is really where you really want to keep your eye as we see rates. This is 1 hour ago, around July 6th, mortgage rates soar 7.22 after strong economic data. So again, not uncommon for what we're seeing for things right now as far as a strong economy. We have good jobs reports, a lot of people working. It means it's a strong economy, which means we're not going to see a recession, or we're not going to start seeing mortgage rates start to tick down until we start to see some negative news here on the economy. So we're at the highest price since early November, which increases your payments by about $100 just from what happened today with the rate increases here. So this is something you really got to keep an eye on if you're thinking of buying in the latter half of the year here or early into next year, is what is the economy doing? And good news for the economy is actually bad news typically in the mortgage rate, and kind of vice versa. If we're moving closer towards a recession, then rates are going to kind of come down to help re-stimulate the economy. If we're not moving into recession and we have a strong economy, we're going to see rates continue to trend up because it shows that the economy is resilient and it can take stronger rates. So if you're looking to buy, that means you're fighting those higher rates again. And if you have high rates, people probably aren't as apt to move. If you're locked in at a 3% interest rate on your home and you're looking to trade up at a 7.2 now, that could triple your payment, double or triple your payment depending on where you're moving, what taxes and insurance are looking like. So people are kind of putting that off, and when they're not moving, inventory stays low. When inventory stays low, prices tend to kind of creep up over time. So definitely what you want to take a look at. Mortgage demand drops to the lowest level in a month as rates start to go up. So this is the only thing that could really start shaking some prices up, is if demand drops. Then if you have low supply and low demand, prices, anyone's guess. They could stagnate, they could come down. It all depends on who is lower. New supply is going to be lower, is demand going to be lower, and then that's going to help dictate which way prices are going to go. But again, overall, this is really where you want to keep an eye on where things are at if you're thinking of buying yet this year or early into next year. Really keep a rate on where rates are, and we're starting to see a lot of pressure here, so through the jobs report that came out today. So overall, if you're thinking of buying the Twin Cities market, again, we're still in a seller's market. Sales prices are crunching up month over month. We've leveled off, kind of flatline year over year, and historically speaking, we tend to peak here in June. So don't be too surprised if we start to trend down. So if you're thinking of buying in the latter half of the year, you might have a lot of opportunity here. It's just really going to depend on what those mortgage rates do.